Morning. So today I want to just explore a little bit more of Cookidoo. So I am going to share my screen in just a minute. But let me just say, I was looking at a post on Facebook the other day, and it was someone saying, is it worth me getting a Thermomix, da 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 da. And she was saying, I only cook pasta once a week. And I'm going, I never cook pasta in my Thermomix, apart from at a demo, just because that's not the way I eat. So she was going, well, what else do you do in it and everything else? And people were listing all the different recipes, and I love that we have so many different things that we can do. But I then put down all these other things that are actually really important to me, and I was actually discussing this with my husband this morning. So, just a little bit of personal stuff. My husband had to have a couple of stents in his cardiac arteries, two of his cardiac arteries. They were 95% blocked, and we had no idea. That happened 2 weeks ago. So he's feeling a little bit vulnerable. Thermomix does come up a lot in our conversation. But I did say to him, obviously one of the things is diet. And I actually think we have a pretty good diet. But one of the advantages, which is, I didn't put the personal bit in there, but I did list this in this thing about why to have a Thermomix, is I know exactly what we're putting into our bodies. And we are so lucky from that health perspective. It doesn't mean there aren't changes that need to be made, but I know what we're putting in. I'm not buying things from the supermarket with unknown, ingredients. So for me, and that health aspect, and I was chatting with a customer yesterday, and for her, it's that. We know what we're putting into our bodies. So I think we are extremely lucky to be in this situation of having a Thermomix. Mind you, everyone gets access to one. There's lots of ways of getting one in your kitchen bench. But let's go back to the topic. So the other reasons for having a Thermomix is the health thing. And Cookidoo is fantastic with that because you can put in LCHF, low carb, healthy fats, and there are collections that come up to do with that. You can put in keto if you want, and there are collections that come up with that. So we have an incredible resource at our fingertips. Yes, the Thermomix as a tool is fantastic. Cookidoo is absolutely the icing on the cake. So yeah, so the health aspect and being able to search for things that we want. There's also a diabetes collection, a whole book actually on diabetes and diabetic recipes. So the health, it definitely ticks that box big time. Um, it also, from a sustainability point of view too, it's awesome because if you walk into those aisles in the supermarket where there's the jars of curry paste and um, even the dry curries or the tomato sauce or the Worcestershire sauce, all those sorts of things. You know what? It's so hard to find, and mayo. Got to make some mayo this morning too. So um, it's really hard to find them not in plastic. So Andrew and I were shopping last weekend and he was looking at something and I was looking at something and I'm going, no, we're having this one because it's in glass. It's not in plastic. So we are really blessed with the number of recipes again that are on Cookidoo where you can make your own tomato sauce, you can make your passata, you can make, I mean, we're not all going to do all of these things all of the time, but every little bit helps, and every little bit less of plastic that we bring into our house, which then has to be recycled or reused, is a good thing. So that's another thing that I really get a lot of value out of the Thermomix with. Another thing is that, of course, when it's cooking, we're doing other things. It's saving us so much time. And one of the things I want to show you today is using your filters to find meals that don't take long to make. So it's a massive time saver. Again, I was with this customer yesterday. We were just doing some, she's awesome. She's my dentist, and she bought a Thermomix 6 years ago. She got TM5, and I went and we just had a bit of a play together yesterday. And she was saying, for her, that's well, the health aspect is huge, but also the fact that it's cooking for her. And also can make things, super quickly. So it's a huge time saver. And of course, the money savings. And I know you guys obviously be convinced of that. But if you can easily save more than what it costs to have a Thermomix in your kitchen each week just by making your own bread, making your own yogurt, a lot of these things like the curry powders. I've got all the bases in my spice cupboard. I can whip that up. Oh, and like tandoori paste, 20 seconds. Um, and again, I know what's going into me. Anyway, just saying that as well as the food aspect, things like Cookidoo are an incredible resource for you and for me, and I love that about Cookidoo. So let me get in and show you. I had my little rant for the morning. Um, all right, so let me move me up there out of the way. All right, so here we are and again, I'm on the website. It is slightly different on your app. So on your app, all these little things here, they are all down across the bottom on your app. All right, but I'm not looking at there at the moment. So I can go in here and let's put in tomato sauce. All right. So we've got, it's actually the tomato ketchup that I make. I think this is the one. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, that's the one. It's got a little bit of a kick to it as well. So that's really awesome. So that is a fantastic way to get a really delicious spicy tomato ketchup into your kitchen in glass. Just reuse a jar. There's also, whilst we're talking about sauces, there is a great barbecue sauce. Whoops, barbecue sauce. So I haven't tried that one. Oh, and just a little tip whilst we're on this. I find it really hard to get stuff out of a bottle. A jar is so much easier. So I think this is the one that I have made, but that best ever one looks worth investigating as well. So yeah, a bit of sugar, a bit of Worcestershire sauce. You can make your own Worcestershire sauce. The roasted wattle seed sounds awesome, but I don't know where you get it from. So I would have left that ingredient out. But let's have a quick look. The ultimate barbecue sauce. What's this? Where? Oh, 600 grams of passata, onion. This is a UK recipe. Yeah, malt vinegar, all these things that I grew up with. Soy sauce, smoke. Yeah, okay. I might give that one a go at some point. Looks really good. Also, when you are in a recipe, you can come down to the bottom here and you can see, okay, it's in that collection. I might want to look at the barbecue collection. So click on there and it's going to come, bring you into here. So what have we got? Rice salad with veggies, curry couscous, tamarind and chili barbecue lamb chops. They look really good. A whole lot of different ideas, and there's the sauce. Okay. Now, just whilst we're in here, you can save whole collections of recipes, and all you do is you go into the collection and click save. So I'll do that. I'll show you where it is. And if you want to later on, you can remove it. Let's go back and let's look up serving up summer. Sings we are on the way. A spectacular weekend this weekend. So what have they got? Brioche burger buns, elderflower basil gin fizz. Wow. Ice cream. The curry coleslaw is awesome. I haven't made that one, but there are some fantastic lamb burgers in Cookidoo as well. Bacon mayonnaise. That looks a bit interesting. I can go down rabbit holes whenever I get on Cookidoo and just have a bit of a look at this. Wow. I know have a son-in-law who would probably love that. So I am actually going to grab that. I'm going to add to recipe list. So showing you a few things here. And I'm going to put it in my basics recipe list. Okay. All right. So let's get back to the task in hand. What I wanted to do was show you filters. So from that explore, actually on your app, you can get straight into here, but I just had to get in there. So I've got rid of that. I'm going to just click up here. So now I've got 13,517 recipes, but I don't want to look at all those. I want to use my filters. So my filters are here. These are my default filters, which I showed you how to do last time. You go into your profile and you update your filters there. If you haven't got a TM6, you can get rid of that. Doesn't matter. TM7 basically means you can cook anything on Cookidoo. But the filters are here. And what I love about them is if I'm looking for a particular category of food, I can come in here and look. So there's starters, which is obviously it's entrees and things. There's soups. There's pasta and rice dishes. Now, if you are gluten-free, um, I'll show you a bit further on. There or dairy-free. There are filters that you can add, which will you can select to be gluten-free. If you want a pasta dish, do not select gluten-free because it will get rid of all the pasta dishes in there, and you know that you can use a gluten-free pasta. Now, gluten-free pasta, when you're cooking, you just need to have a look at the time on the that it says that the recipe that type of pasta takes to cook. So there's two things here actually. I'm just digressing slightly again, but you know, it's all good, useful information. So check the time that it takes to cook. If it's an open lid cooking TM7 recipe, sometimes you might need to add on a couple of minutes for that. If your pasta is gluten-free and it's a brown rice pasta, it will generally take a little bit longer to cook than the vegetable-based pastas. And a pasta cooking tip, whether it's gluten-free or not, if you have a thermoserver, then you can weigh your pasta or pop your pasta into the thermoserver, put boiling water over it, and leave it in there for the time it says the pasta takes to cook on the packet, plus 5 minutes, and then you've got cooked pasta. So that's another way of doing it. Okay, so that's so we've got all these different categories. You know, fish dishes, mate. I mean, a main dish is meat, fish, vegetarian. I'm not quite sure what the other is. In fact, let's have a look at other. All right. So I would have said some of these are vegetarian myself, but there you go. There's some different. Yeah, I'd say most of these are vegetarian. Oh, kung pao cauliflower, yum. Big Mac style wraps, etc. This is something I've wanted to do for ages and I've never done it, so I should actually try that one out. What's that? Green goddess salad, yum. So pulled pork. So it's not all vegetarian. Not quite sure why we've got that. Let's go back. Oh, let's go back here. Let's go back in. I'm going to get rid of my filter here. I'm going back into my filters. Let's look at the other filters. If I am looking to make a dessert, I would look at desserts and sweets, and I would also tick baking sweet because there's a lot of cakes that obviously can be used as desserts. We've got drinks in there. We've got basics. So it's another really good one to avoid those plastic jars in the supermarket. Let's just have a quick look in there at basics. All right, overnight, yeah, overnight oats, awesome. Chocolate hazelnut spread, so you can make your own Nutella. Oh, we had dinner with some friends last night and she brought out, I'd forgotten I'd made her this and it's awesome. And she said it's very sparingly used and saved because she loves it so much. That's a really cool thing. So here we go. Whole lot of basics. Oh, TM7 demo. All right. Boiling pasta, gluten-free lentil wraps. You know, there's a whole lot of stuff in there that you can make at home and not bring plastic into your house. All right. Let's get rid of basics and we'll go back into filters. All right. What else have we got down here? Baby food, breakfasts, snacks, menus and more. So I'm just going to show you the menus one because this is pretty cool. So in here, we've got things like tuna on tomato sauce with rice and peaches and cream. So you're making a dessert whilst you're making your main. This one, you're making a soup whilst you're making your main. This one, we've got vegetable soup with semolina dumplings and then a barbecue pulled something or other, pork presumably. Beef ale and dumpling stew. So this one again is layered. Your dumplings will be steamed up above your main meal. I'm just trying to find, there's a couple there. Slow cooked beef shanks with saffron risotto. I'm pretty sure there's a couple that actually have, you know, they do have desserts at the same time. Anyway, you can see that a lot of these are sort of layered cooking meals. Oh, look at that. Digital flip book 1 and 2. Um, Digital. Wow, cool. It's always good to have a look. But look at this. Thai style prawn broth and spicy apples. So you're actually making the soup and you're steaming those as well at the same time. So menu with vegetable velouté, chicken with mustard sauce, yeah, and veggies. This one, lamb biryani with vegetable curry, ultimate Guinness pot roast. Wow. Um, Anyway, so there's different menus, ideas and things in there. So that's pretty cool too. All right, let's get past those. But I'm actually going to tick one of these and I'm going to go main dish is meat, main dish is fish, dish is vegetarian. That's given me 3,680 results. And I'll tell you why. So I'm going to go on down, show you the other filters. So if I have a filter, sorry, if I have an ingredient in my fridge that I want to use up, I can pop it in here. All right, I'm not going to put something in now, but you can do that. Or you can just put it up here in this bar there as well. If there's something that you can't eat, usually I would say you probably know how that you can deal with that. So if you're FODMAP, which means that you can't have onion and garlic, apples and pears, if there's those things in a recipe, you would substitute. So a lot of people who can't have onion and garlic can have like the green of spring onion or the green end of the leek. So you would know if that's you, that's how you deal with it. Okay. Um, then we've got tags, and this is where you can put in gluten-free, dairy-free, all those sorts of things. Now, I'm not going to do that because, again, I don't want to exclude things that I know how to substitute for. Difficulty. Again, I don't worry too much about that. If something says it's going to take me uh, 72 hours, it's probably a fancy cake that's got different parts of it that need to be done over time, which is fine. Or if it looks way too crazy, I go, no, I'm just not going to make that one. Preparation time. This is helpful, but not as helpful as total time. So preparation time is useful if you might go total time 45 minutes. Now, if you're doing total time 45 minutes, you're probably not gonna, that's not gonna be helpful if you're making a cake because you've got cooking time and that's gonna exclude most of your cakes. But it's really helpful if you want dinner on the table in a short period of time. Preparation time, I don't worry too much about because you know what? If I go into recipe and it says it's 15 minutes worth of prep time, I can always prep that the night before. And in the mix shop, we have our vacuum seal containers. And some of you will know because I've brought these along to demos that you can I can prep things the night before and they are perfect in having been stored in a vacuum seal container. I'll see if I can just show you those at the end, all right? But I'm looking for main meals meat, main meals fish, main meals vegetarian because I'll eat any of those that I can have the tape on the table in 30 minutes. All right, I've gone down from 3,000 something results to 600 results. Okay, but these are quick meals. All right, portion sizes. I'm only cooking for two. So I would say I'm going to cook. I just want enough for four people because that will do us two meals. Okay, 359 results. Okay, um, ratings. I am super bad at rating. I do not rate. I need to start rating. I would encourage you to rate. But at the moment, because I don't do it myself, I will actually have a look at these recipes and go from there. I don't worry too much about that. That's my version. Yes, I do have the Thermomix cutter. I do have the peeler. Oh, no, that's saying use them. I'm going to get rid of those because it really doesn't matter. But I could tick those that I actually have. Oh, that's telling me I might want to use those accessories. All right. Now, I'll just run through these. The Thermomix cutter, we've only got available for the TM6 at the moment, so don't worry about that. The Thermomix peeler, that is awesome. That is the blade cover peeler. That is worth having. It is about $60, I think, in the mix shop. It's used for peeling potatoes. It's also used, I use it for peeling garlic. I use it for peeling ginger. Any sort of rounded vegetables. Don't do it with carrots. You're going to lose too much of the carrot. But it's also used in slow cooking. So if you are slow cooking something and it might be for 90 minutes or it might be for 8 hours. If it's 8 hours and there's meat in there, it will generally ask you to put the blade cover peeler in, which is what this is. because that's going to stop your meat from shredding. Okay, the sensor is something that you can use to help um, know when your meals are cooked. And then we've got languages and stuff down here. Okay, all right. But now we can see all my filters up here. Oh, I'll take the cutter out, sorry. Um, I've got 359 results of meals. We'll take some of these out a bit later on. That we're going to feed four. They're going to be on the table in 30 minutes, and they include meat, fish, and vegetarian meals. Okay. So here we are. I've got a whole lot of things. I would say generally when you're looking at meals that are on the table in 30 minutes, if it's a meat dish, it's generally going to be a chicken dish. There are some exceptions here. And if it's a fish dish, it is often, they've got salmon here. So I'm just proving a liar of me, but prawns often come up too. All right, so, but I can then go, ooh, chicken and mushroom rice, that looks good. Let me recommend some of these to you. I have never made that okonomiyaki. I've never made it, but people do rave about it, and it has got 4.6 stars. So you'd think that'd be really good, but I have never made it, so I can't recommend that to you, except that, that star rating is good. I've never made that, but that actually looks really good too. I've never made that. I have never made that. So here I am going to recommend you recipes that I've never made. But I have made the quick vegetable saute and peanut sauce. That's awesome. I have made the quick turkey taco bowl, and that's fantastic too. Um, Vegetarian nuggets, haven't made those. Uh, yeah, okay. So there's a few hints. I've made that too. I would say that takes a bit longer. That steamed fish is to die for. It is absolutely brilliant. So what I would do with these, and I actually have a collection like this already. I don't know if this is in here. I don't think it is. I would click, I mean, obviously you can click into the recipe. And we did this. It must have been when lockdown, it was during COVID, but our team got together and we did this. We did a Zoom all together, and this was one of the dishes that was made. And I'll tell you what, it was so good. I've never made it since, which is crazy. So you can have a look in here. You can have a look. It's doing any Thermomix. It's a Chinese new recipe, and it tells you here. Look, it's so low calorie, hardly any carbs. Obviously, because it's just fish, really. But it is awesome. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add that to my recipe list. So I can do it from here. Wherever you see three dots, you can do it from there. But I'm going to go back from here too. So I can do it from these three dots here. And I'm going to go add to recipe list. And I actually have 30-minute meals in there. So, and then what I would do, whilst I've got this filter on, I'm going to go down and I'm going to go, what else do I want to add to this? And I've actually got, look at that stir-fried carrot with broccoli. I would probably put that in asides, but that's 15 minutes. So I do have another, I'll show you. Add to a recipe list. This is in alphabetical order, so it's way down there. But you can see I've got lots and lots. So I'm going to put that in there, my sides. Okay. So that's what I just do. I go in there, and salmon and mushroom rice looks so good. We're low carbing because of this heart thing. Um, Spicy beef with red capsicum, that looks delicious too. So I'm going to add that to my recipe list of 30-minute meals. All right, so you can filter like that. So I go down these rabbit holes and I'm going, oh my God, that looks so good. Uh, and here we are. There's an example of a recipe that is for diabetics, or specifically orientated that way. All right, so that was what I really wanted to show you today, was about the filters. But let's just have a look. 359 results found. I'm going to take out the 4 portion thing. I've now got 601 results found, okay? And if I'm vegetarian, I don't want to be looking at the fish. I don't want to be looking at the meat. I've got 202 results of vegetarian main dishes that I can put into a collection, into one of my own collections. All right, so I'm not into pasta. Let's have a look at this one. So again, you just hit the three dots and I would add it to a recipe list. and I would put it in my 30-minute meals. Okay. I'm probably not going to make that one, to be truthful. So what I'm going to do is come into my menu. I'm going to come into my recipes, and up the top here, I'm going to remove those. Remove, because my husband has decided he shouldn't be having those things. Yes. Yay. So he's not going to have those anymore. These are lemon curd so these are my bookmarks. Sorry, should explain. These are my bookmarks. When you bookmark, just do the things you use a lot. All right. I actually don't use jasmine rice a lot, but I do share it with a lot of my customers. So the reason I do that is it tells me here it's 2 portions. I can go down here. It uses rice cooker mode. That's on your TM6 or TM7. It also, I can change portion sizing here. And down the bottom, I think in the tips, oh no, it doesn't. This one doesn't. I have to find another. There's another one with tips where it tells you the quantities per person if you want to increase the size. But I can increase the size. This is a good thing to show you the scaling. Not every recipe you can scale, but have a look at this. For 2 portions, it's 200 grams of jasmine rice. If I go 4 portions, I've got 300 grams of jasmine rice, which is really interesting because you'd think it would have doubled, but that's just saying that's an interesting thing. And so easy. Literally put it in and it does it itself. If you are going to cook for 4 people, then I would put it on this and I would go cook today or add it to my week on the 4 portions. For us, it's going to be 2 if I do it. And so I would do it for 2. All right. But the scaling, you need to set that scaling first if you're going to use it before you pop it into your week, which you can do from the 3 dots or into a recipe list, or if you're going to cook today. Let's go back out of there. All right, so lemon curd I make because I am the lemon curd maker for our local CWA. 5 seed bread is probably not going to have much of that, but I won't remove that just yet. This is an awesome porridge. So if you are a porridge person, this is fantastic. It does have a few oats, but all the remaining ingredients, look, it takes total of 10 minutes. Actual cooking time is 4 minutes. So it's rolled oats, cinnamon, goji berries, shredded coconut, pepitas, chia seeds, milk, whatever milk you want. I was making it with almond milk and hot water. That is super good. Immune booster. I make this every week. Just a little tip on this whilst I'm doing it. So I'm getting a little bit carried away, longer than I thought. But whilst I'm out here, I might as well give you the tips for the recipes. So with the immune booster, I love this. It's a couple of lemons, it's some ginger, it's the honey, it's the water. So, and then you blend for 2 minutes. Right. So with the lemons, I do my 2 lemons. I don't weigh them. The ginger, I go on the high side of the ginger because I love ginger. The honey, I actually put 70 grams in. I don't believe I have a particularly sweet tooth. I would generally go savory rather than sweet, but I find this a little bit it needs the extra bit of honey. So I do 70 grams of honey, but I add more water. So that in theory, I think it serves 2, this one, 2 portions. I might go 400 grams of water and that sees me pretty much through the week. Here it says transfer to a jar, so blend for 2 minutes. So I do that and I don't do the rest of it. So after this, what I do is I put it on for a minute at 37 degrees on speed 1. And the reason for that is your honey will be sitting on the bottom of the bowl unless you do that. It's also a really nice drink to have a little bit warmed up. And what I do the next days, I have my drink on the day I make it. Then I put everything into a little jar thing. I've got a little bottle actually with a flip top lid. Goes in the fridge. And then the next morning I pour some into my mug and I just add a bit of boiling water and it is awesome. And let me tell you, I don't get sick very often. Here you go. It's saying, it's giving you tips down here too. I mean, I can add a note and say, avoid, don't do the rest of it, heat it up, etc. And then it's just visible for me. So you can absolutely do that. Let's go back. So those are my bookmarks. If you bookmark every recipe, you've done nothing. You haven't saved yourself any time. So absolutely bookmark. Recently cooked, I can look at that. Created recipes, that's for another day. Collections. So you know how I showed you how to save a collection? Some of these are collections that I actually purchased before Cookidoo had the subscription, and you could just buy things. What did I put in? I put in barbecue. There it is. There's my barbecue collection. I've got a sushi collection. I've got a sugar-free collection, which doesn't mean it's got have bananas and dates in those recipes. No waste. Love this. I've got the Chinese cookbook because, of course, I read that all the time, but it's there in case I have any Chinese customers to show them. This is a fantastic book by Louise Keats, who is the granddaughter of Margaret Fulton. She's done some really cool stuff in there. And then we've got some high heat basics. Doesn't matter with your TM7, you can do all these things super easy. Thicken mode, stocking your staples. I think this is quite a big book, actually. Let's have a look at that. What does it say? How many recipes? Oh, it's not telling me. But we've got a few things in there. Condensed milk, roasted garlic, a few things like that. Let's just go back out of there into my collections. Some of these, it's really, I only save them, well, they're only in there because I have purchased them in before. If you've got any dietary considerations, this is one to look at. No waste again, marinades, go green, feel good, spice up your life, a whole lot of stuff, okay? So, oh, this one's actually a really good one. Let's I might put this into this what do you call it? Letter I'm sending out to you. Gives you ideas of things to make in your first month with your Thermomix. I'm just going to make a note, your first month mixing, and I'll add that into the letter. So I'm just going to just see actually where it comes from, where this collection comes from. Thinking it's the UK. Yeah, from the UK. This is awesome. So this is using the high heat in your TM7, and it's also and TM6, and it's also using the blend mode. So it's a really good way of seeing. It's a great way of using up whatever you've got in your fridge. All right, mixed vegetables, more mixed vegetables. Doesn't matter. It's whatever you have. Great way of using things up. All right, so we've got the collections. And then we've got the recipe lists. So this is actually a recipe list that I've created, which is literally just TM7 recipes for various reasons. So that it is generally open lid cooking towards the end. I made this fish curry the other day. Oh my gosh, it's delicious. I recommend it to someone in our Thermomix team, and they're vegetarian. She put chickpeas and something else in there as well, and so she did. But the sauce is to die for. So if you don't like fish, use chicken, use vegetables, and so on. So those are all TM7 recipes, and I use the filters to find those. I'll show you that in just a minute. I've got 30-minute meals. So remember, I just added some. That's absolutely staying there. This one, I don't know that I'll make this. So what I can do is I think I can do it from here. Yes, here. I can just remove it. If for this, so for example, this recipe, I know it's 30-minute meals and I'm going to keep it there, but I could go move the recipe. I can move it to another collection. I can add it to my week. I can add it to my shopping list. So, oops. I am going to go out of there. And I've got a whole heap of collections in here. Budget locale meals, gluten-free breads and pizza bases, cannelé. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to have my cannelé molds back. Christmas gifts, Christmas veggie ideas, everything, a whole lot of different stuff. Okay. So you don't need to have that many, but the more you filter, the easier it is to find your recipes. Okay. So I think that's really all I want to share with you at the moment, because I've gone on far longer than I was anticipating going on. But I hope that gives you a good understanding about filters and how you can use them in your Cookidoo, and how awesome Cookidoo is. I just love it. I really do.